Hey everyone, Ethan Ainsworth here again. I wanted to talk a little bit about Marvel Comics today. What the hell? I think I saw a lot of videos with that question. But what the hell does Marvel think they're doing with this flooding the universe way of marketing? I think one of the absolute driving factors behind the decline in comic books, like putting aside the political nonsense and everything like that, I think one of the main reasons people on the periphery don't jump into comics is because of all the stuff they think they have to read, or all the stuff that Marvel makes them think they have to read. If I'm a new comic book reader and I look at the solicitations, I see a book called Absolute Carnage, which is a pretty good book, by the way. I'm really enjoying it so far. But if I see a book called Absolute Carnage and I'm a casual person, I'm like, oh, I like Carnage. Oh, what's this thing? This checklist next to the book? This is all the stuff I need to read to understand Absolute Carnage? Well, let's see here. We've got Absolute Carnage 1 and 2, Absolute Carnage Lethal Protectors, Absolute Carnage Miles Morales,
Absolute Carnage Scream, Absolute Carnage Separation Anxiety, Absolute Carnage vs. Deadpool, Venom number 17, Absolute Carnage number 3, Absolute Carnage Avengers, Absolute Carnage Ghost Rider, Symbiote of Vengeance, Absolute Carnage Lethal Protectors number 2, Absolute Carnage Miles Morales number 2, Absolute Carnage Scream number 2, Absolute Carnage Symbiote of Spider-Man, Absolute Carnage vs. Deadpool number 2, Amazing Spider-Man number 30, Venom number 18, Absolute Carnage number 4, Absolute Carnage Immortal Hulk, Absolute Carnage Lethal Protectors number 3, Absolute Carnage Miles Morales number 3, Absolute Carnage Scream number 3, Absolute Carnage vs. Deadpool number 3, Amazing Spider-Man number 31, Venom number 19, Absolute Carnage number 5.
Holy crap, man. Like, really? That's how many books I need to read to understand this one? Like, this is horrifying to somebody who wants to get into comics. This is scary. Look at that list. Look at that. You're not gonna read, this is a whole, like, this is more comics than I read in a month. Easily. Like, one of these checklists is far more comics than I read in an entire month. And this is just for the following of one series over the course of the series. This is ludicrous. We're averaging 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we're averaging about 8 or 9 books a month here. Just to have all the material for this Carnage event. On top of that, if you like these characters and you're already in the comics, you're probably reading Amazing Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Venom. Like, you don't need to, or Deadpool even, but now they want you to get your normal books like Avengers, Miles Morales, Deadpool, Venom, Spider-Man, and then on top of that, they want you to read Absolute Carnage Miles Morales in addition to the normal Miles Morales book, Venom, the tie-ins, Absolute Carnage, Amazing Spider-Man Absolute Carnage, Amazing Spider-Man Regular, Symbiote Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. They want you to read Avengers, like as it is, Savage Avengers, Absolute Carnage Avengers. It's too much. It's too many titles. It's ludicrous. I'm not reading all those. I'm reading this book. I'm reading Amazing Spider-Man. That's it. I'm not reading Miles Morales Absolute Carnage. I'm not reading the Venom supplementary material. I'm not reading Separation Anxiety. I'm not reading Scream. I'm not reading Carnage vs. Deadpool. I'm not reading Absolute Carnage vs. the Avengers or any of that garbage. I'm reading the regular Miles Morales book that doesn't have anything to do with Maximum Carnage. That's it. I don't need that. I don't need 18,000 books to supplement a 5-issue miniseries. A 5-issue miniseries, and they want you to get like 9 to 10 books to 11 books a month just to understand this one. But I don't need that, man. You know what I mean? It's absurd. And there's somebody on the outside. They're not going to want to jump in the comics. This is a horrible time to jump in the comics if you're a new reader and you don't know what you're doing. I mean, oh man, I love Carnage. I'd love to read a Carnage book. You know, I saw him in the cartoons and video games, and he seems really cool. What's Carnage up to right now? Oh no. Oh, that's like 25 books. Whoops. Now all of a sudden you've lost a reader. Just make it simple. Have Amazing Spider-Man tie in if you really need to, because it's Amazing Spider-Man event. Have your miniseries, have your event, and then if you really feel it's necessary, have the main title cross into it like Amazing Spider-Man. But this is ludicrous. This is beyond ludicrous. I mean, am I crazy here? How much was this book? This is an $8 book. So for the first month of Absolute Carnage number 1, which is $8, and you have number 2, which I assume is a regular cover price, so $3.99 or $4.99. Already, that's like a solid amount of money to be spending on such a thing. Just to read the main title. So on top of the $8 you're spending on this book, and the $3.99, $4 minimum you're spending on the second title, you also have to spend $3 to $4.99 on
Lethal Protectors number 1, Miles Morales number 1, Scream number 1, Separation Anxiety number 1, Carnage vs. Deadpool number 1, and $3.99 on Venom number 17.
Like, what the fuck?
Please step aside and let me go. Stop. Stop it. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Who can afford this? On top of my already existing comic books, I can't afford to read more than maybe 2 of these a month. Most people who read comics probably can't afford to read, because think about how many events are going on at any given time. So you have Absolute Carnage end, and then all of a sudden there's a Thor event, like War of the Realms or something like that. So you get War of the Realms, that's over. You're like, okay, I can save a little money for a couple months. Oh, never mind. Now we've got Absolute Carnage because I'm a Spider-Man fan. Oh, what's that? You're an Avengers fan, and now you need to get another book. Oh, what's that? You're an X-Men fan, and now you need to get 15 books that tie in the House of X. Like, no, just quit. Just calm down, mate. Your events do not. This is a Spider-Man event. At most, it should cross into 2 other Spider-Man titles. Like, you don't need... I'm astonished, honestly, that Superior Spider-Man didn't make it on this list. Because, it's a Spider-Man book, and it's Carnage. But you don't need to be reading 15 titles to understand one event. It's ridiculous. It's a Spider-Man event. Spider-Man is inherently, like, a fairly... Like, Spider-Man his importance in the Marvel Universe cannot be understated. I mean, he's incredibly important to the Marvel Universe. But if I'm supposed to be reading Spider-Man, this should be like a Spider-Man event. I don't need the Avengers or Deadpool or any of this crap in the Spider-Man event. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to have the Avengers in the book, because, like, Captain America or whomever had a symbiote at some point, just put it in here. This is... How many pages is this? Like, this is easily a double-sized book. Minimum, this is double-sized. I mean, this is too much. I would like to say that the Stegman art in this is really incredible. I really love the art style. And the writing is good, and the jokes are funny. It's a good book, man. I really enjoy it so far. But, this, I can't do this. Nobody can do this. I know a lot of comic book people. I know a lot of Spider-Man fans. None of them, not a single one, is reading all of this crap. I'm not, certainly. I mean, look, clearly I'm not afraid to, spend money on comic books. I mean, this is an Amazing Spider-Man number 299. That's the first time Venom ever showed up in a comic book in like actual physical form. That wasn't cheap, but like it's cheaper than buying all these books. Anyway, it's a depressing state to be in the comic book industry because Marvel's shooting themselves in the foot. DC does it too, but not as bad as Marvel. Jeez. Marvel shoots himself in the foot by trying to get new people into the comic book reading circles. And then at the same time, they scare them away by giving them stuff like this. Like, who needs this? This should be 3 books a month, maximum. This is ridiculous. This is not how you sell comic books. This is how you get people out of comic books. This is how you get people's wives to convince them that comic books are a waste of money. This is how you get people to stop going to comic book stores every week because they can't afford to read anymore. You're forcing people out of the comic book industry when you should be welcoming people in. In the 80s, Marvel Comics had like 25 to 30 books, and they were selling like gangbusters. It's too much. Anyway, I'm a depressed Ethan Ainsworth, and I'll catch you guys later.